Imagine you found the perfect house. You're already picturing yourself living there. When your realtor calls, the seller likes your offer, but they're concerned because your current home hasn't sold yet. Suddenly, what felt exciting becomes stressful. That's when you start hearing terms like home sale contingency, bridge loan, and sell before you buy. Today, I'll explain what those terms really mean and how having a strategy before you write an offer can make the entire process much less stressful. One of the biggest mistakes I see buyers make isn't choosing the wrong house. It's choosing the wrong strategy for buying and selling at the same time. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Beyond the For Sale Sign. I'm your host, Curt Reichstetter, broker and co-owner of Two Dog Realty, where Heather and I help buyers and sellers throughout the Richmond-area make smarter real estate decisions. If you're trying to buy one home while selling another, you've probably wondered, should we sell first or buy first? It's one of the most common questions Heather and I hear, and the answer depends on your finances, your timing, and today's Richmond market. Let's walk through the options. There isn't one right answer. After more than 35 years in real estate, people still ask me, Curt, should we sell first or buy first? My answer is always the same. It depends. It depends on your finances, your timing, your family's needs, and today's Richmond market. That's why Heather and I build the strategy before anyone writes an offer. Why this gets so stressful. Buying and selling at the same time means you're coordinating financing, inspections, schedules, and two transactions that all have to line up perfectly. Without a plan, it's easy to make emotional decisions. That's why having a strategy before you ever start house hunting can make all the difference. The two-dog difference. One thing Heather and I do a little differently is that we have these conversations before we ever take anyone out to look at houses. Before we start shopping, we answer questions like, where is the down payment coming from? How much equity is available in your current home? Can you qualify to carry two mortgages if necessary? Which financing options make the most sense? By the time our clients find the right house, the strategy is already in place. We've already talked through the what ifs, so there are fewer surprises and a lot more confidence. Here's a real example. Recently, Heather and I worked with two clients who on the surface seemed to almost have the same situation. Financially, though, they were very different. One couple qualified to carry both mortgages. Because of that, we recommended selling first. Their home sold quickly, and just 2 days after closing, they were moving into their new home. Another buyer couldn't carry two mortgages, so we used a bridge loan instead. They purchased first, we immediately listed the previous home, and it sold so quickly they only needed bridge financing for a couple weeks. Two buyers, two different financial situations, two different strategies. Both were successful because the strategy was built around their circumstances, not around a one-size-fits-all answer. Home sale contingencies. One option is a home sale contingency. It simply means I'll buy your home once my current home sells. For many homeowners, that's necessary because most of their down payment is tied up in the equity of the home they're living in. Today, contingent offers can be harder to get accepted because sellers often have cleaner offers to choose from. Whether one works depends on the current market, the competition, the property, and the overall strength of your offer. This is why sellers hesitate. From the seller's perspective, a contingent offer introduces another layer of uncertainty. If your home doesn't sell or your transaction is delayed, their plans can be affected too. They're not rejecting you personally. They're simply trying to reduce their risk. Some other strategies. A home sale contingency is only one tool. Sometimes selling first is the least stressful option. Sometimes bridge financing makes sense. Sometimes we recommend getting your current home completely ready before you ever begin shopping. And if your finances allow it, buying first may be the best solution. The right strategy depends on your financial situation, your goals, and today's Richmond market. Here's a quick note about kick-out clauses. You may also hear the term kick-out clause. While they're used in some Virginia markets, we don't see them very often here in the Richmond area because our focus is usually on building the right strategy before we ever reach that point. Why the Richmond market matters. One thing I've learned over the years is that Richmond has its own personality. Advice that works somewhere else often doesn't work here. Some weekends sellers receive multiple offers. Other times buyers have a little more flexibility. That's why your plan should always be based on today's Richmond market, not last year's headlines. Final thoughts. At the end of the day, buying and selling at the same time isn't really about contracts. It's about having a plan before the pressure starts. After helping families make this move for more than 35 years, I've learned that the smoothest transactions aren't always the ones with the easiest circumstances. They're the ones where everyone understands the plan before the pressure starts. If you're thinking about buying and selling at the same time, even if you're still 6 months or a year away, let's have that conversation now. Sometimes one meeting is all it takes to build a plan that saves months of stress later. If you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate it if you'd give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Every week here on Beyond the For Sale Sign, we share practical advice to help buyers and sellers throughout the Richmond area make smarter real estate decisions. And if you're wondering what improvements are actually worth making before selling your home, be sure to watch the next video. Thanks so much for spending a few minutes with me today. I'm Curt Reichstetter with $2 Realty, and I'll see you next time on Beyond the For Sale Sign.